We got a super fast scooter, cheap e-bike, and a real sweet one. What one are we gonna take on the road? What one should you take on the road? We're gonna get into it in this video right here. Let's go. It's Nate and Nick here at the EScooters booth in Quartzsite. It's a little quieter right now. So we thought we would give you an opinion of what we think of these e-bikes and e-scooters, okay? So let me just go down the line here. This is the scooter we've had for the last couple years now. It's a Nan robot. These things are super powerful. They have two 1,000 watt motors on each wheel. Keep that in mind as we go through these bikes. You'll see why these are quite something. They say these can go 40 miles an hour for 40 miles. They can do that. And it gets to the point where you don't really want to be driving it that fast. It's just a little too skittish. Overall, super fun. We'll get to the pros and cons of these in just a second, okay? The price for this, right around $1,200 to $1,300. Next one up, the electric XP 3.0 long range. This one is here at the show. They started it for about $699. It has a 500 watt motor. They say it can go around 60 miles on a charge. Last one here, we have a Voltour. This one we purchased here at a vendor outside of the tent. This one here was $499. It has a single 350 watt motor at the back. They say the range on this one is about 20 to 25 miles. So we talked a little bit about the specs of these things, but you've probably seen a lot of people have the e-bikes, but not a lot of people have the scooters. So why did we opt for the scooters? What I liked most about them is the fact that they could fold up pretty small, and we could put three in the back of the truck without taking up too much room. Now the electrics and the Voltour, when they fold up, they're pretty big. They're gonna be a little harder to store, but now that we have the fifth wheel, we have a little bit more room. We have the back where we can just kind of roll things in as well. That being said, what's better? Here's the rub. We've had these scooters for a little while now, and they work great the first couple years, but now they're starting to show the wear. The batteries are starting to go bad. The brakes are starting to go bad. My scooter, both of the brakes are pretty much not there, which is kind of an issue. So this is our 4th year with them. So yeah, so for 4 years of use on these Nan robots, they did hold up pretty well. The one thing that I will say is I don't feel they're as safe as an e-bike. And that was the big reason why we decided to start looking at other things. You know, there was only one time where we had like a wreck, and that was the first year that we had them here. Luke was going a little too fast for the conditions, and we weren't expecting the rocks, but he kind of dumped it. After that, he slowed down quite a bit. We've kind of realized that these things have their limitations. We try to take it pretty slow. The fact that they're really fast, all of a sudden you look down and you're going 30 miles an hour, that's pretty fast. One of the batteries on the scooter is dead. I looked to get a replacement battery and it was $599 for just the battery. That front one, the Voltour, is $499, so it's cheaper than just the battery. So as far as the bikes go, when you're on them, they just feel a lot more stable. You're not gonna, dump over the handlebars. To a degree. I know some people probably have, and if that was you, make sure to put it in the comments.
All right, so my personal preference is I have crashed on these by going through the soft sand and then just turning a little, which turns the wheels a lot. I've been dumped over by doing that. With this one, it's like really nice, not jiggly. You got a lot more tire there to get supported with.
How scary do you feel on the scooters?
When you get going fast, I call it the death wobble, your handlebars start shaking. You can see your tires just like moving, and you have to slow down to like 10 before it stops.
So I did a video on the Ford death wobble, and I used our scooters as an example. I would agree with him. Now, fun factor. I cannot deny that the scooters are super fun, and you hop on them and you hit the gas and the thing just woo, you're going. Super fun. Bikes, on the other hand, they're just pretty, I'm not gonna say elderly.
They're elderly.
You know what you're getting. You're getting a bike with a 500 or a 300 watt motor to assist you. It won't throw you back like the scooters will. Nice and calm. So if you're into the calmness of life, bikes are probably more for you. Now, if you want to live on the edge and you want to like fly down the road, yeah, a scooter's pretty sweet.
I feel like I'm gonna fly off.
Okay, so here's a big reason why we are moving away from the scooters. We have one that has a bad battery. We didn't know about this until we were out on the trail, and we hit the gas and the whole thing just died. Now when it dies, there's nothing you can do to get this thing back. You're gonna end up pushing it. Your fun is over. Now with the e-bikes, if your battery ends up dying, you still get to have a little bit of an adventure, even though it's gonna be a little harder to do. Now this one is pretty heavy. I think the bike overall is about 70 pounds. So being able to pedal a 70-pound fat tire bike, you know, on the trail probably isn't that fun, but at least you can still do it. With this thing, it's 70 pounds and there's no pedaling to it. And it doesn't really roll that well since it has dual motors. So you can't really like push it off with your foot like we used to as kids. You gotta push the thing like you're pushing a shopping cart. It's tough. So there you have it. We got the scooters, we got the e-bikes. The folks at Electric kicked in a couple bikes for us. We did purchase one of our own and then we decided we liked that one. And they said, yeah, we'll give you 2 more so you can test them out and let everybody know what you think. We're gonna take each one of these out to the desert. So I'll show you exactly why we were thinking about going from the scooters to the e-bikes.
After just riding out to our little spot here in the desert, I was on the scooter and there's a couple things that you notice right off the bat, which is as soon as you get to soft stuff, you feel like the Titanic. You are sinking straight to the bottom. I'd say that, well, that's because of tire size. In the future, we could try to put some bigger tires on there as long as they don't rub on the shock.
Yeah, I don't think we could go very far.
We could probably do an inch or two, maybe?
Maybe.
So that could be a future upgrade idea.
What I noticed on my drive here, the throttle on the Volter gets stuck. It's sticky. It's not that responsive. Like you could twist it and
Yeah, I feel like there's a tight spot right there.
that could end your livelihood. Volter, if you're watching, you need to fix that.
All right, here comes Luke. He's going fast. He took that kind of fast. All right, look at it. He's nice and stable. All right, grab the scooter, do the same thing.
First impressions, this is the first time I've ever run this thing out in the wild. This thing is huge. Compared to the scooter, compared to the Volter, it's huge. But there's something I really like about it. This doesn't seem like that much, like when you just compress it, but it's nice. It is super nice. I like it. It's cool. I'm excited for mine to show up.
All right, let's grab the scoot. I'm really wondering if you'll be able to see what I'm talking about, how squirrely these can be. Don't get me wrong, these are a lot of fun. And the small tires make them squirrely, especially on this. See, can you kind of see that? You see how he moved? Yeah, I hope I was able to get that. See that? All right, what are your thoughts?
Going over bumps, this thing, it really likes to start losing control.
It's just the fact that these things have like zero rake to them, right? If you look, we're talking about the angle. It also has to do with the wheel too. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look that bad. Yeah, I mean, you're right.
It actually looks exactly the same.
It's got to be more the wheel. If you know what I'm talking about, write it in the comments below. Another thing we like to do is take the scooters on the Needles Highway. Will these electric bikes be able to do it? The cheap bike, the Volter, is a 7.4 amp hour battery. The electric is a 14 amp hour battery at 48 volts. And these Nan robots, 52 volts, 23.4 amp hour batteries. So they're big batteries, so I understand why they're expensive, and they go really, really far. So we made it up the Needles Highway, no problem. Now with these bikes, slow down. So that is something that we'll probably end up trying, because when we get all 3 of these bikes, we'll be able to go up there. We'll see what happens.
I was riding and I come down here on this loose dirt and the throttle sticks. It'll scare you. I don't know if it's just our Volter.
Should we take it back to that guy? I mean, we just bought it.
Maybe, but
we can take it back.
we could talk to him about the sticky throttle.
So I just tested this one again. Silty stuff. You feel like you're not going to crash it. But that's kind of a thing with the scooters. The scooters are kind of living on the edge. The scooters are fun in their own really scary way. Ooh. You know what they call that? They call that golden hour in vehicle photography. I read car magazines.
All right, we're just stopping off. Gonna head up to the top. We're not gonna try to bring the bikes up on this. Okay, so we're back at the booth after a pretty sweet ride with just some final thoughts.
Did you guys see me flying? I was going so fast.
Did you see him? He was flying. What I would say, I think we're going to retire the scooters. It's kind of sad, to be honest. These bikes are pretty sweet. Now, final word on like Volter versus electric. The Volter is pretty nice, and I would say for the money it's pretty good, but I think one of the biggest downfalls of it is that it doesn't have gears. So if you're going to be going like off-road like we were just doing, that'll be kind of hard. You're going to have to push it a little bit. Otherwise, though, it's a pretty sweet ride for just going out and about. Now, the electrics, on the other hand, those seem to be the perfect mix of fun yet safety. So if you were looking to get one, maybe you're younger, this XP 3.0 seems a little big for his size. Now, the electric folks did tell me that they recommend their riders being 18 and over. What I like tonight is that I had the tires initially probably 45 pounds to them. Then when we got to the rocks, I thought it was a little bit bumpy, so I let a lot of air out, and man, was it smooth. Those nice big tires, really nice. There's a lot of flexibility in this bike right here. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us. Let me know if you have any questions on these. We're going to continue to ride them and maybe a little tweaking and stuff. One of the things we will most likely do is put the bike trailer on this thing right on the back so we can haul JJ around. If you're brand new here, be sure to subscribe, hang out with us as we take Insti Connect to the road. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.